Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. The beauty of these videos is that you can do this practice whenever it's convenient for you. So welcome. Today we'll be moving through a gentle Vinyasa flow. My name's Megan, and I've been here at Pure Yoga for several years, and I'm just glad that you're joining me today. So I always like to begin class with a little quote here, so I'll start with that. Now that the ground has thawed, the first blooms of spring are blossoming on trees and on the ground. Take note of what is sprouting in your life. Soon the seeds you planted will come to fruition. This is the time to make sure that no weeds are growing where you intended seeds to take root. Let go of what impedes growth. Water your intentions with gratitude and purpose. Be open to receive the rain of the blessings that will fall. So just beginning with that nice thought in your mind, let's take our hands to heart center and set an intention to start your class, start your practice. Just taking a moment to let your mind gather a thought that can guide you through practice today. Something centered around gratitude, around growth. Let's take a nice gentle inhale through the nose, taking note of where that air fills in, and then gentle exhale, letting your intention surround you. Let's do 2 more breaths just like that, inhaling through the nose, and gentle exhale. Let your exhale be open mouth, be soft. Feel the warmth of your breath. Tuck the chin slightly and let the eyes flutter open. Let the palms open up to the tops of the knees. Just let the backs of the hands rest there on your knees. One interpretation of the word Vinyasa is breath by breath, and I just love that interpretation. In our Vinyasa practice, we coordinate our breath with our movement, and each movement is linked to an inhale or an exhale. And so we'll be doing a gentle version of that Vinyasa today. And we'll just begin with linking our breath with our movement, simple movement of the hand. Let's find some extension, expansion of our palms, of our fingertips and our hands. Link that with a nice big inhale. Again, taking note of where that breath fills in the body. Exhale, just a gentle squeeze of the palms together, maybe wrapping those thumbs around the fingers. Inhale, open up. You can close your eyes during this exercise or find a focal point and just really feel the breath. Inhaling, opening up the hands, opening up the fingers. Exhale, just gently closing in. So really letting your breath allow you to move into your body. Allowing you to feel the subtleties in your body today. Using your breath. Feel how that inhale allows your spine to grow. And that exhale allows your hip bones to be rooted down into your mat. Just 2 more like that. On this last one, if you've been breathing with that open mouth exhale, gently let your lips touch together. And let your exhale come through, threading over the back of the throat, finding that ujjayi, soft exhale. Open up the hands in a gentle motion. Again, flutter the eyes open. Just going to stretch through the shoulders and the neck. Inhale, let the shoulders come towards the ears. Exhale, let them roll back and down. Feel the shoulder blades kind of shift back and down your back. A couple more like that. Rolling back and down. Feel the inhale, allow your spine to lengthen towards the ceiling. Exhale, roll back and down. Let your gaze be soft in front of you and just take your right shoulder, or if you're mirroring me, it'd be opposite. Hold for a moment, just breathe into the neck. Back through center, opposite ear, opposite shoulder. Just breathe into that neck. With the exhale, allowing your ear to melt further down towards your shoulder. Nice and gentle. Inhale back through center, lay nice and tall with your spine, and take your gaze over your shoulder. Back through center, nice long breath, gaze over opposite shoulder. Back through center, beautiful. I've added a blanket today for my practice, so feel free to also do that. I'm going to use my blanket for my knees or use it for hands in certain situations, so use it when you need it today. We're going to move into child's pose. So let's bring your knees behind you, and I'm going to face the camera for child's pose. Occasionally I'll rotate. I've got a perpendicular mat back here, but I'm going to face the camera for some postures today. So with child's pose, let's take traditional with just knees underneath the torso, letting your heels be close to hip joints. Any issues with knees, you can go ahead and lift those hips up off a little further. Let your hands reach forward and then just hinge down. So going to as far as your body will let you, and just allowing yourself to sink with each exhale. So let your forehead maybe touch the mat. I'll scoot this a little bit further underneath. And roll that forehead side to side. Feel each finger pad press into the mat in front of you. Feel your hip joints sink back toward heels with each exhale. In Balasana, child's pose, our back body is allowed to breathe here. So really feeling the lungs fully inhale into your back. And fully exhale, allowing there to be some space between belly button and thighs, squeezing that air out with the exhale. Finding that Ujjayi soft breath. Two more breaths here. After those two breaths, walk your hands over to the right and allow yourself to sink back into left hip joint. If it's possible, taking that forehead all the way down to the mat again. And just feeling the left side body open up. Feeling the rib cage expand. Take two more long breaths here. After those two, walk hands back through center. One centering breath. Feel the spine neutralize. And on the next inhale, gently walking hands over to the left. Exhale into that right hip joint. So allowing this side body to open up. Rib cage gets to open up. Maybe taking the forehead all the way down to the mat. One last breath here on this side. Slowly walking those hands back through center. Neutral spine, allow yourself a breath here in the center, letting that forehead melt down. Next inhale, press the mat away and rise up. So you're on all fours, finding tabletop position. Starting with a neutral spine and really feeling the palms stack underneath the shoulders and hip joints stack right above the knee joints. So go ahead and spread out a little bit. Feet are behind you. I'm just going to show a side version of this. And you can let those tops of the feet flip over so that they're resting instead of a little bit of tension with the toes down. Go ahead and let them rest. I'm going to face the camera for a little bit again, just finding that neutral spine. And we're going to move through cat-cow. So you're going to allow the belly to drop. Let the gaze lift up. And I wanted to show this from the front this time. I think I did it from the back last time. Just to show how you can let the shoulders come away from the ears and let your neck, front body expand. Exhale, now round out the back. Let the head fall in between the biceps and find that cat spine. Drop the belly again. Lift up, lift the gaze. Exhale, round out the back, mid-back, thoracic spine lifts toward the ceiling. Let your gaze maybe even come all the way up to your belly button. 2 more, inhale, lift. Let that expansion of shoulders away from ears happen. Exhale, round out the back. Last one, big inhale. And rounding out, big exhale. Come back through center, neutral spine. We're going to do spinal balance. I'm going to face you for a moment here, and then I'll go from to a side view also. Let's start with the right hand extending forward. I'm going to face you again for the neck and head version, and then let the left leg extend back behind you. Foot is flexed, toes toward the ground, so I'm just going to show my foot. Toes toward the ground, then lift it up, maybe to parallel to the ground. Now take your gaze downward. Allow there to be space between left palm, which is on your mat, and right hand extending. All that thumb to come up towards the ceiling. Feel all energy spiraling inward. Spinal balance. 2 more long breaths here. A little bit of shaking, totally normal. You're using all the muscles along the spine. Now we're going to move into a little quad stretch. So I'm going to take my right hand and reach for that back foot, reach for that left foot. I'm going to press the foot upward. You might see the foot behind your head, making sure that knee is straight toward the back wall. This one I'll show from the side version. And another use of the blanket is for the knees here. So go ahead and cushion the knees if that's comfortable for you, making sure your hand stacks underneath your shoulder. And I'm going to reach right hand forward. Just show this from the side. Flexing, letting that knee go straight back. And just looking up with the gaze, opening up. Let your right shoulder open up. So again, thumb towards ceiling on this right hand. Gently release back into spinal balance. Tuck the chin, bring that gaze down, flex the foot. Bring the right hand back down. Knee underneath hip joint, sit back into child's pose. 2 long breaths there. Let those inhales be long. Exhales be long in your child's pose. Next inhale, bring yourself back up into tabletop position. Let's go through one more cat and cow. Now neutralizing that spine, drop the belly. Linking that breath with the movement. Big inhale here. Big exhale as we round out the back. Back through neutral spine. Opposite side with our spinal balance. Left arm's going to reach forward. Right foot can come back. Flex that foot. Allowing that hip joint to be level with the ground. And this is where it's kind of good to show it from this straight ahead version too. So you're allowing that hip joint not to lift, foot not lifting, and not to come too low. Although, if you need a little touch and back, just fine. You can bring that foot down. But if you're going for traditional spinal balance, allow that leg to be parallel to the mat. 1 more long breath here. Coming into our kneeling dancer quad stretch, work that leg around. Thumb towards ceiling so you're opening up your shoulder. Let your belly drop. Big inhale. Maybe bringing that gaze upward. Beautiful. Hold for another breath. Releasing. Reaching forward into your spinal balance once again. Exhale into child's pose. Bringing it all down to the mat. Let's take a chest expansion in our child's pose. We're going to interlace the hands behind your back. Open up. Maybe take steeple grip if that feels good. Let those shoulders release. Gently coming down, release the hands back into traditional child's pose, reaching ahead, feeling like you're pulling the mat away. Big exhale, lengthening of the spine, hips toward heels. Next, inhale, come back up into your tabletop. I'm going to use this blanket for my knees. Again, in this, we'll be in tabletop just a few more moves here, a few more postures, so feel free to grab your blanket. So here from our tabletop position, we're going to come back into that first side, right hand reaching forward, left foot coming back. Finding that spinal balance. Bring the gaze downward, tuck the chin. Find that length. 2 more breaths. Firing up the core with the spinal balance. Exhale, slowly bring that right hand down to your mat and cross the left foot over to the right side. Look toward that foot. Now you're getting this side body opening, stretch through the outside of the hip. Take one more long breath there. Come back through center. Lift that left leg back into your spinal balance. 2 more long breaths. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the nose. Firing up that core. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Next exhale, let's pull elbow into knee. Round out the back, find cat back. And then slowly bring hands and knee back down into your tabletop position. Switching sides. Left hand is going to reach. Right foot's going to come back. Find that spinal balance. A few breaths here. Feel yourself press the mat away. That right palm's on the mat. Using your core as you pull upward. Flat back. Lengthening crown of head right to the front of your mat. Exhale, bringing that left hand down. Crossing that right leg over, looking to your right foot. Letting the right side body open up. Allow that hip joint to open. Back through center, let that left leg lift. Right leg lift, that would be. Sorry. Left arm, let's extend out. Last long breath here. Slowly bring that left hand back down. Right knee tucks under. We're going to warm up the shoulders. I'm going to continue to use this blanket on my knees. Just going to scoop back slightly there. And walk the hands just slightly ahead of the shoulder line. From there, I'm going to pick up my toes and come forward with the hip joints. I'm in a modified plank pose. Show this from the side. So we're from our tabletop, hips were square above the knees. Shift forward, pick up the toes slightly. Doesn't need to be huge, right above your mat, just making sure that core is working. Palms are underneath the shoulders here now, because you've shifted forward. So you're in your modified plank. Feel your core work. Hold and breathe. 2 more long breaths. We're going to lower all the way down to our mat. So our elbows are going to come into rib cage. I wanted to show this from the front version too, to show how elbows go back towards rib cage. So avoid coming out like a traditional push-up. Come straight back in. Let's come all the way down to our mat. Little heart center lift for cobra pose. Let your fingertips leave the mat. Exhale, come back, neutral spine, tuck the chin, press the mat away. This time we're going to dig our toes in and come into our first down dog. So we're going to lift the hips high and bicycle the feet. So my arms are about shoulder distance apart, and I'm just bending one knee. Opposite heel melts towards your mat. So first down dog of this practice, allow that body to slowly stretch out. One more each direction of your pedaling. And then come back, knees to mat. Shift those hips forward, find your modified plank. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, lift for cobra. Exhale, pressing that mat away. Back into your down dog, digging toes in, lifting hips high once again. So let's all come up high on our toes. And you'll see from this angle that my feet are about hip distance apart. My hands are also about shoulder distance apart. Starfish hands, letting the head come to fall in between the biceps. One more breath here up high on your toes, letting the arch stretch. Exhale, let the heels now melt back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, heels melt back. Find a nice breath of stillness here. And then slowly let the knees drop down. Inhale forward into your modified plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale, lift for cobra. Exhale, press that mat away, this time into child's pose. So what we've gone through, hold in child's pose for a few breaths. I just wanted to pause here and just let you know what we've gone through is the modified vinyasa series on the mat. That high to low plank, lowering all the way down to our mat, and then lifting, finding that inhale for our cobra pose, exhale, finding our down dog. So we're going to use that throughout class today to link some postures and just to move between series. So we'll go through it one more time on our mat, and then we'll add it into the full sun A. So from child's pose, lift back up into your modified plank. Picking up those toes, let the core work. Lower all the way down to your mat. Exhale. This is moving through a little push-up posture. Inhale, lift for your cobra. Take those elbows right back. Let there be space between ear and shoulder. Beautiful. Exhale, come back down. Nose hovers, press that mat away. Dig toes in, find your down dog. Let's do one more exercise here in down dog. Nice way to straighten out that back. Bend the knees. So I'll show a side version of that nice knee bend. Bending those knees, letting your back straighten out. And then slowly let the heels begin to melt down. Let that back stay nice and straight. One more breath here in your down dog. Bend the knees if you'd like to again. Feel the length in the spine. And then straighten those legs out as much as it is possible. A little micro bend in the knees is very normal. Come back into child's pose, full back down. This time let your hands come back toward your heels, traditional child's pose. Let the shoulders roll over. So a little rounding there, and just hold for a breath. Slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time, and then we'll walk to the top of our mat. And it looks like my head's cut off, so I'm gonna walk back this way slightly. We'll move through sun salutation A, and it involves that same vinyasa series. Let's inhale to reach. Tadasana, mountain pose. Exhale, come into a forward fold. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, plant your hands on your mat and step your legs back to your plank pose. I'm going to modify throughout this practice today, so knees on the mat. Exhale, lowering back down to the mat. Inhale, lift for cobra. Exhale, coming back through into down dog. Lift the hips high, press back. We're going to walk our feet to our hands. Let's start with our right leg to step up first. So you're coming into a low lunge, bending that left knee, follow that step up with the left leg. Find forward fold. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale back into your fold. Reverse swan dive to lift up. And exhale, hands through heart center. Let's come through that again. Inhale, lift and reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant your hands on your mat and step back to your plank pose. Modifying today with knees down. Exhale, lowering to the mat. Inhale, lift for cobra. Exhale, pressing the mat away, coming into down dog. Let's take the left leg forward first this time and find that low lunge. Step the right leg up to follow. Find your forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Lengthening out, and our halfway lift can be active also. I just want to show it from the side, taking that back nice and long, pressing hands into shins. Exhale back into your fold. Let's reverse our swan dive to lift up. Arms out to the side, reach. And exhale, hands through heart center. We're gonna add on to that series with a little lunge. So inhale, lift and reach. Adding to that lunge. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, planting your hands on the mat. Stepping back to your plank, lowering those knees down, moving through that yoga push-up, high to low plank. We're moving through a cobra here. Exhale, back through to your down dog. Lift hips high. You're gonna step the right leg forward again and do a little lunge series. So let's let the left knee come back down on the mat. We're gonna come into a nice low lunge. Hands can now come up to knee. Arms can lift up. Kneeling crescent lunge. I'm gonna show this series from the side. Again, you have the blanket handy. So if you'd like a little cushion for the knee, feel free to set that up for yourself. Coming into our kneeling series. So you've ended there with hands reaching. You're in your kneeling crescent lunge. Feeling your knees stack above your ankle joint. We're just gonna open up now with a little left hand to hip, right hand to our knee. Open up there. You can keep hands right there, open up those arms, similar to a warrior two. Taking that left hand down now and open up the side body. Beautiful. Come back through to those warrior two hands. And let's just do a little cartwheel of the arm underneath. Lift into our kneeling crescent lunge hands. And we'll come into a little twist. Your right hand will come to your hip and your left hand to your knee. So just little twist to the shoulders, bringing that gaze across the body. Back through center, inhale, lift. Exhale, we're gonna bring our hands down to frame our foot, dig in the left toe, and bring your right foot back. You're back into your plank. I'm gonna find that modified plank. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, lift for your cobra. Exhale, pressing the mat away. Finding your down dog. Beautiful. This time we're gonna take our, take our left foot forward. Drop that foot, drop the right knee. Find your kneeling crescent lunge. Just hold and breathe here. Really feel this knee stack above the ankle. Little adjustments. Beautiful. One more breath. Taking your right hand to your hip, left hand to your knee. Just gonna open up a little bit. I'm facing away from the camera, but I'll end towards you. Maybe taking those arms parallel once again. Finding a little reversal. Left hand's gonna reach. Back through. And cartwheel the right arm underneath. Find that kneeling crescent lunge. Little twist now. Left hand comes to hip, back to face you, right hand to knee. Maybe looking over that left shoulder. Stretching out these hip flexors deep into the psoas. Beautiful, back through center. Let's frame that foot, digging in the right toe. Bring that left foot back, modified plank. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, lift for cobra. Exhale, pressing the mat away. Digging toes in. Find your down dog. And let's walk feet to hands to find ragdoll pose. Let's give ourselves some space, letting your feet be about mat distance, and then sway from side to side. Let your head nod yes in between biceps. Maybe letting those fingertips dangle toward the floor, towards your mat. From there, let's heel toe the feet about hip distance apart. And back, roll it up one vertebra at a time. Take the shoulders to the ears, roll those shoulders back and down, shoulders to ears, rolling back and down, and finding Tadasana. We're gonna do a similar standing series, so similar to that kneeling series, but in standing position. Take hands to heart center. We're going to step the right leg forward into our crescent lunge position. So a nice long step. I'm going to show this facing you today, just to see. Each foot gets a lane, kind of like we're on skis here. And want to have those hips square, beautiful for your crescent lunge. We're going to start with the twist. Inhale, lift arms overhead, full crescent lunge, maybe bring that gaze up. Exhale to a nice open twist. So we're looking to our right side. So we've got our right leg in front, open twist. Nice big transition, cartwheeling the right arm underneath. Left arm overhead, let's find your warrior two, let that back heel drop. And here's a similar position to our knee lean. From that warrior two, we're going to come into a reverse warrior, flipping that front palm, reverse it back. Beautiful. Let's cartwheel the arms. Right can come to the knee, left comes overhead. Pick up the back heel. A little bit of stability with hands on the knee. Bend the back knee. Come into chair pose. Let the hips stay sunk low. Let the toes lift. Next, exhale, hands through heart center. Come all the way down, forward fold. From our forward fold, bend the knees nice and deep. Maybe even chest toward thighs. Slowly back roll it up one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders to ears, roll back and down, shoulders to ears. Tadasana, mounted pose. Take a breath here before our opposite side. Hands to heart center. Nice big step forward with the left leg this time, finding your crescent position. Again, each foot gets a lane. Heel is up and back, press straight back. Nice stretch through through your hip flexors. Let's reach arms up overhead. Bring that gaze upward, finding crescent lunge. Next, exhale, big open twist to the left. Open those arms up, palms open up. Find that twist. Big transition, right arm lifts overhead. Left comes forward, let that back heel drop down. Find your warrior two. Flip the left palm up, reverse warrior. Open up the side body. Let your left arm now come down to the left knee. Cartwheel the right arm over top. For stability, you can have both hands on those knees. Bend the back knee. Back knee meets the front. Find your chair pose. Let the hips sink back. Let the heart center lift. Exhale, bring hands through heart center. Come into your forward fold. Let's do that vinyasa in between. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands. Step or hop back to your plank. I'm going to modify my plank. Exhale, lowering down to the mat. Inhale, lift for cobra. Exhale, pressing that mat away. Digging toes in, finding your down dog. Couple breaths here. Let's walk the feet to the hands. Find your forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, back into your fold. Reverse swan dive to lift up this time. Exhale, hands through heart center. Let's sit into our chair pose once again. Just noticing a little mat issue there. So from chair pose, we're going to do that similar series here. Left leg's going to come back first. Find your crescent lunge. Inhale, lift arms overhead. Exhale, twist. Big transition. Left arm's going to come, right arm's going to come underneath. Left arm overhead. Let that back heel come down. Find your warrior two. Flip the right palm, reverse back. Big inhale into side body. Exhale, we're going to cartwheel the arm. Right comes to knee, left comes overhead. Pick up that back heel for stability. Bend the left knee. Find your chair pose once again. Beautiful. Let's take hands to heart center. Right from chair pose, right leg is going to come back. Big exhale. Inhale, lift, crescent lunge. Bring that gaze upward. Exhale, twist. Right arm overhead. Lower that back heel. Find your warrior two. Flipping that palm breath by breath, exhale it back. Right, left hand's gonna come down. Right circles overhead, for stability, come to knee. Pick up the back heel. You're gonna bend that back knee. Find your chair pose. One more time each side, so finding this flow in your practice. Hands through heart center. Left leg back. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, twist. Nice big open twist. Big inhale, reverse those arms and find your warrior two. Flip that palm, find your reverse warrior. Let the hands come down to knee for stability. Pick up that back heel. Bending back knee, find your chair pose. Hands through heart center this time, right leg comes back. Last side, last time through. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, twist. Find that reversal into warrior two. Flipping the palm, reverse it back. Taking that left hand down to knee, right will follow. Pick up the back heel, bend the knee. Find your chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, coming down into your forward fold. Let's find gorilla pose. So in our fold, bending those knees, taking the palms maybe underneath the feet. Backs of hands come to the floor or mat. Let your head hang low. And then from there, begin to straighten the legs. Letting the stretch come through the wrist joint here. Also deep into hamstrings. Just take a couple more breaths there. If that pressure's too much, you can just flip the tops of the hands, just like so. Let that head hang. Gently release. Let fingertips jangle, find full forward fold. Slowly back roll up one vertebrae at a time. Once again, take those shoulders to ears, roll back and down. Shoulders to ears, and roll back and down. Let's move into some balance. So we'll take tree pose, but maybe a little bit different today, using more of a lotus leg. So just an option for you. If you like traditional tree, please go right there. Hands can be at heart center once again. And I'm going to start with traditional by just kickstanding the leg. I'm going to start with balance on my left, or if you're mirroring me, you'll be on your right. So to move into more of a lotus foot, I'm going to lift that foot, my opposite hand, arm and knee. That hand is going to help that foot upward, and let that knee bend out to the side. Bring my opposite hand to heart center. Flexing this held foot. You can either hold it by the back here, hold it forward, light grasp on that foot, lift up through the spine. Find your focal point for your gaze, your drishti. Hold there, breathe. Maybe even closing your eyes. It's a big challenge for balance when eyes are closed. Aiming for about 10 breaths here. If you have that hand held on the foot, gently release. Bring that knee forward and then slowly bring it down. Inhale, lift. We're going to Vinyasa in between sides, little sun A. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Planting those hands on your mat. I'm going to lower down, modify that blink all the way down to the mat. Lift for cobra. Pulling those elbows back. Lift that heart center. Back through neutral spine, digging toes in. Find your down dog. Walking those feet to hands, find your forward fold. Lift halfway, back into your fold. Reverse that swan dive up. And hands through heart center. Opposite side, balancing on the right. Finding that traditional tree, if that suits your practice today. Or finding a nice little lotus version with foot a little higher, letting that knee fall out to the side, maybe keeping that hand at heart center. Option to grab top of that foot. Or if it's in your practice to let the foot press into the top of the quad there and let the quad press back to your foot, maybe keeping both hands at heart center. Bigger challenge there. I'm going to hold on today. Closing your eyes if you'd like to come into that challenge, or finding that focal point, finding that drishti in front of you. Find growth through the spine. Find gratitude for your balance. Working every day. If we fall, come right back into it. No worries, that's why we call it a practice. Last breath here. Slowly release that foot. Bring that knee forward for just a moment, and then slowly bring it down. Last vinyasa of practice, lesson A. Inhale, lift and reach. Exhale, hinge forward into your fold. Inhale, lift halfway once again. Planting those hands on your mat, stepping back to your plank. I'm modifying all planks today, knees on the mat. Exhale, lowering all the way down. Inhale, lift for your cobra posture. Exhale, press that mat away. Dig toes in, come into your down dog. Last down dog of your practice. Let those hips lift high. Find that growth through the spine from fingertips through hip joints. Exhale, slowly bring the knees down to the mat. I'm going to cross my feet and back and sit my hips to heels. Come into seated position. Let the feet come forward. And we're going to do some figure four. Again, I'm going to show this straight on just to begin with, and then I'll come to a side version. So move into some hip position, hip opening with a figure four. So I'm going to start seated. Let the left leg come a little bit longer. Cross the right leg over and grab behind my left knee. Use my core. I'm going to come all the way down to figure four on my back. Flex the left foot. Now I can come above the knee and just hold and breathe there. So, side version. That knee's coming out to the side, making that four. Grabbing it on top. Nice hip opening. Letting yourself just hold and breathe here. So let's stay there. Aim for about 10 breaths here. Let me check our time here. So you're on probably about 4 more breaths. After those 4 breaths, we're going to lengthen out, so release the grasp, lengthen out the left leg. Bring the hands down to the side, we're going to move into a twist. Leg will come all the way down, and then we're going to lift this right knee and twist. I'm going to twist that right knee away, so I'm twisting to my right. I'm going to look towards the camera, open up the arms to a T, and just let your gaze fall to your right also. Aiming for about 10 breaths here also. So just close your eyes, release this right shoulder down. A lot of times tension is held through that. We're twisting through the mid-back, through thoracic spine, but breathe into not only that area, but also hip joints. Let shoulders melt. Two more long breaths here. To come out of this, let's bring our gaze up first. Slowly bring that right knee back up. Release the right leg down. And to come into opposite side, we'll come in a little bit a different way. We'll take the left knee up, open up into the figure four, and then bring this right foot up. Right foot comes to the mat. Can reach underneath to start with, and that might be a good spot just to stay. Letting your hands grab behind your knee of your right leg this time. If it feels like you want to add a little bit more pressure inward, you're going to grab on top of that knee and allow yourself that figure four with squeezing in of the legs. Hold and breathe. Feel your spine grow on your mat here. As you're exhaling, breathe into your left hip joint. Let that release. Last 2 breaths here. Gently lower your right foot back down to the mat. Begin to release that leg with your arms, opening arms up to a T. We're going to move into our twist, so our leg will release and then twist over to the right, and we'll be looking left this time. So I'll be looking away from the camera. Or another option is just to show you straight on there, just twisting, and I'll be looking to the left, so twisting left. 10 long breaths here. Last 2 breaths. Letting the shoulder melt down, letting your hip get a nice stretch there. Twist your thoracic spine. So come out of it, bring your gaze up first. Bring that left knee back across the body, bring both feet to the mat. We'll move into legs up a wall here. Pull the knees into chest. You can use your blankets. Grab this one here. Underneath hip joints, roll it a little bit. Bring your hip joints up to lift. Bring those knees up and then flex the feet, legs up the wall. This can also be felt in the core, and so just a couple options here. Using it as a little bit of a core workout, maybe lower down to about 45 and then lift back up. Inhale there. Lower down, exhale, inhale, lift. Or just hold and breathe in your legs up the wall position. We're getting a nice reversal of blood flow. We did a lot of movement on our feet today, warriors, crescent lunge. Work through those feet. So just letting that reversal of blood flow happen. 2 more. Let's bend the knees in toward the chest and then let the feet come down. Coming into bridge pose. Traditional bridge, I'm going to let my hands reach down toward my heels. I'm going to remove the blanket. If you'd like supported bridge, leave that blanket there. Lift hips up off of the blanket gently or use it to support your low back. So hands are reaching toward heels, and then you can kind of shimmy one shoulder then the next underneath. You can even interlace your hands beneath your low back. Little puff of the chest. Let the knees be straight forward. Feel the ankles underneath those knee joints. So stretching out the abdominals that you just worked, lowering down of the legs. You're just getting that nice stretch here. Take 2 more breaths here. After those 2 breaths, release the shoulders, release the hands from underneath the back, pull the knees into chest. Give your legs a little rock back and forth so you're massaging that low back. Reverse the direction of the rocking back and forth or the circling of the knees, giving that low back a little bit extra massage. We're going to pull up into egg pose. I'm showing this from the side here. So you're going to flex the feet, reach the forehead toward the knees, or even reach around to the bottoms of the feet. Bring all your energy of your practice into one nice little ball, a nice little egg. Big inhale here. You can feel that low belly on the legs. And biggest exhale of class. Come into your Shavasana, your final relaxation. I'm going to use my blanket underneath my head. Scoop back onto this mat. So support of the upper neck, upper spine. Let your arms open up to the side. Find your Shavasana. Let your legs open up to the corners of the mat. Palms can be up toward the sky, up toward the ceiling. And just begin to release. Your Shavasana is your full release of your body. Your body's still. Allow your ankles to release. Feet can just flop out to the side. Allow your calf muscles to release. Allow the knees to open up slightly, releasing. Feel the quad muscles release, glutes release. Scanning up the body, feel the core muscles just release. Melt down towards your mat, again into hip joints, releasing all that. Release the back body. Let your breath go into heart center, big inhale. And release as you exhale, let your shoulder blades melt down into your mat. Feel the energy into the arms as you inhale. Feel that breath. And then release. Release from your wrist joint to your elbow. Finally, again into the shoulders with that exhale. Feel that breath go up through neck, into crown of head. And then exhale, just release out one last time through crown of head, through neck. Letting that total relaxation breath move through the whole body, out through the toes. And then find about 10 breaths of stillness here. After those 10 breaths, begin to wiggle the fingers and toes. Just like we did at the beginning of class, take an inhale into an extension of the hands, fingertips extend. Exhale, make a little fist, squeeze all the air out. One more just like that. This time, as you exhale, a little squeeze of the fists and rolling over to the side, using your arm as a pillow or continuing to use that blanket. Taking your time to slowly come back up to seated position. I'm going to use my blanket underneath hips again. Come into easy pose, Balasana, pressing one leg in front of the other and ending the way we began. Come back to hands at heart center. Just pause for a moment to come back to your intention. Finding that gratitude, that growth in your life, but also knowing it is okay to rid yourself of the weeds that you do not need. Inhale, growth, gratitude. Exhale out anything that doesn't suit you in life, that doesn't feel necessary. Inhale in, light. The light in me salutes that light in you. With a gentle exhale, bow forward. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. Until we meet again, thank you.